Let's go to Shantae in Philadelphia. What's up, Shantae? How we doing?
Good. How are you, Dr. Delony?
Good. Were you born and raised in the playgrounds where you spent most of your days?
Oh, my gosh. Such a cliche. Yes, I was.
That's very cool. All right, so what's up? How can I help?
So I feel a little guilty about making this call. Last night, I was going to call you about how horrible my marriage has been, but last night, my husband tried to make amends with me. He hugged me, kissed me, told me a lot of the times he was overreacting was due to childhood trauma, and that we're going to be all right. We just got to keep working at it. But I'm still going to go ahead with my question. I just feel a little guilty and apprehensive now. So my issue is, how do you make a marriage work when it's been in turmoil for months and it's just exhausting and draining, and it seems like you're both are always on different paths, even though it's to reach the same common goal. It just seems like you're always in different worlds.
Number one, thank you for being brave, and you're welcome to feel guilty. It's your right to feel guilty. I hope you won't. Okay. One night of basic human emotion, one evening of basic fidelity, if you would, emotional fidelity, being honest with you, doesn't make up for months, if not years, of instability. Okay. And so I don't want you to feel guilty. Can I tell you something honest?
Yeah.
Last night, based on your question just now, last night feels more like a move than an honest, reflective, things got to change around here. Am I wrong? I'm happy. I would love to be wrong. That feels like a narcissist. I hate, if you listen to the show, I hate saying the word narcissist because I have no business diagnosing anybody. So I don't mean in diagnostic terms, but that's a classic narcissist move, which is beat up, blame you, gaslight you for well, you're just overreacting. Why are you so mad? You should be lucky to have me. And then there's I'm so sorry, baby. I had some stuff happen to me. It's not my fault. It happened to me, and I'm going to fix it. And then it goes right back. Tell me I'm wrong. Please, I'd love to be wrong.
I was thinking, did he get a hold of my email or something?
No, I hadn't seen your email.
No, my husband, I'm thinking, did he see I was coming on the show soon and just decided to throw in the red flag? But I'm like, no, he didn't see. We have different passwords. So, yeah, it did seem odd, the timing. It was I've been waiting for months for this, and it just right before, last night, literally, before I was supposed to wake up and take this call. So I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna flip things around on you, okay?
Okay.
To answer your question, you don't. You cannot make a relationship work when everybody's on different pages. When you have secrets from each other, you got to hide stuff from one another. I don't tell him that stuff because that sets him off. I got these passwords because I can't trust him with this. I don't want him seeing that. It doesn't work. Period. You have to make this thing work, be on the same page. When you said, I've been waiting for this for months, if nothing else on this call, I want you to hear me say, never, ever wait again. You're worth more than that, Shantae. And what I mean by that is just waiting for somebody to quote unquote figure it out or come around that's how you end up, and all of a sudden a decade's gone by and you have 2 kids and another one on the way, and you're like, who am I and what happened? And I wanted to be a doctor, and now I'm working part-time. You know what I mean? Your life just slips through your fingers while you're waiting on somebody else to meet your needs that you didn't speak out loud. And so hear me say as firmly as I can, you are worth your needs being spoken out loud. And you may have never even seen that. You don't have a picture of what that even looks like in your mind, so I'll give you one. That looks like he goes off on you, he's angry, and you say, I'm going to stop us right now. You or anybody will not talk to me in a disrespectful tone. You will treat me with respect. I'm going to step out, and I'm going to go for a walk around the block, and I'll be back in a minute, and we're going to do this again later. Or I'm going to take a couple of days, and I'm going to go stay with my mom, and then I'm going to circle back, and we'll have this conversation when the smoke clears here. But this isn't going to how we're going to interact. I'm worth more than this. That's what I'm talking about, okay?
Yeah.
And I know that's hard. There's economic concerns. There's all kinds of things that make that really challenging. Tell me what happened last night.
So last night we were just laying there, and well, he cooked dinner first, and then he was being playful with me, which I really didn't know how to respond, because sometimes, like, when I'm playful back, it might turn into something. So I was just letting him do his thing, and he
Hold on.
like this kind of.
Hold on. It might turn into something like y'all might end up sleeping together, or it might turn into something like it ends up he gets mad because it's not going, like, because he's losing control because you're playing along too.
Oh no, I would love it end up we slept together. But it's no, it's more like I might say something, but he didn't find what I said to be appropriate or funny, or now I'm not in the mood to play anymore, and you play too much, and
gosh, yeah.
so like that.
Okay.
So I just let him, do his thing, play, just chuckled a little bit, didn't say much, and then we went to bed, and then he hugged me, kissed me, told me that sometimes his reactions is because, he's been through, because he's traumatized from his childhood, and that we're going to be all right, and we're going to be okay. But just last week before then, he walked past me after we had like a disagreement on something that it was small to me, but I guess it was big to him. And he threw his ring at me and said, "We're separated." And I'm like, that's not how separation works. I mean, we're still living in the same house, where he said, "Oh, well, you've been married before to know that." He was being sarcastic because this is like our first marriage with each other. Like, you can't tell me how separation works. And so he took his ring off and told me that he's been looking for rooms and whatnot, in case if I do one more thing to upset him before June happens, he's gonna go explore an option and rent a room somewhere just to get some peace and clarity, because I don't bring him peace. And then so it's been like real rocky, but then last night it just seemed to be real calm, and him finally throwing like a loop or a ring towards me when it just seemed like we were going on a completely like opposite ends.
So can I ask you, and I'm not asking this in a disparaging way, are you hard to live with?
Maybe.
No, Shantae, tell me the truth. Are you hard to live with?
I don't think so, but being with him, I started to question, am I? And I don't think it's that. I think because here's why I say that. We both work, like I work the 9 to 5. He does as well. And it's sometimes like, he might not say it, but he'll expect me to do the traditional full-on like house duties while I'm still working. So sometimes I'll say, "Hey, well, can you help out?" Or if I clean up, can you just be like more aware not to just leave your stuff around? Because when I leave out for work and the house is clean, I would like to come into a clean house first every single day, having to like deep clean the house, because he's kind of like messy, so to speak. He's not nasty. He's kind of messy. And his thing is be like, "You're the woman, you pick it up." Like, basically, I'm nagging him. He doesn't want me to control him. So,
man. Okay.
I think maybe in that case I am, but it's not like you can go, like, he could be on his phone for hours. I won't bother him because I have my own stuff going on. So I didn't think I was hard to live with. And I'm not like a smothering type. I don't smother. It's like you can do your own thing. It's fine. Like, not like your own thing like that, but like I'm not constantly on you. Like,
Shantae, y'all are newlyweds in your first year of marriage.
Yeah. This weekend is our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, man. This should be like,
I know. Oh my gosh.
You're hiding in your own home, and so is he. And I can't say anything negative about him because he's not on the phone with me, okay? And so I'm gonna assume that after a year, the whole house is just hard, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna choose to say, you know what? That guy had a moment of clarity, and he realizes he loves you, you're special, and he wants to do what he has to do to make this thing work. And he may have never told anybody about childhood stuff that happened, and that was the first time he spoke it out. So I'm going to go down that road, okay? So here's the next steps. And I don't know another option around these next steps. You have two paths forward. Path number 1 is this, and this ends at some point, okay?
Yeah.
Path number 2 is this. You tell him our 1-year anniversary is coming up, and before we go do something romantic for our anniversary, I want to have a follow-up conversation on what we talked about last night. And this isn't a spring it on him. This isn't a, he's watching TV and you go turn the TV off. This is on Friday, I want to go out and I want us to have a grown-up conversation we need to have. And here's what all that conversation is this. You said we're going to be okay. You said you've got some childhood struggles that you're working through. You said you're sorry that, and if you have things to apologize for, Shantae, which you probably do, say them. Say them out loud, okay? And say, being okay moving forward looks like this for me. What does it look like for you? And you're going to have to, if I'm you, I'm writing this stuff down. It looks like I need help around the house. We're both working. I know there's some traditional gender roles. I need some help here. I can't work a full-time job and then come home and work a full-time job. I need some help. Number 2, don't ever throw your ring at me again. I need us to always know that no matter how sideways things get, our marriage is okay, that we're committed together. And if you tell me you're going to look for rooms, before you start looking for rooms, at least honor me enough to say, hey, here's what I'm struggling with in the house. And not wait till the door shut. You know what I mean? And so whatever those needs are for you, I need you to be more playful and sexual with me. I miss you. I want you to be really explicit about your needs. And this is a low reactivity. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to argue. I need you to listen to all the things I'm going to say, and then you listen, and then I'll listen to all the things you're going to say. We're not going to lob grenades at each other. But we've got to make a plan for moving forward. And then here's the hard thing. Us being okay means you're going to have to go talk to a counselor about your childhood trauma. That's what you got to do. And I know that's not cool, and it may not, his buddies may be dead. That's what you're going to have to go do if you're serious about healing from that stuff. And I'll even go with you if you would like, but we're going to do this together. You see what I'm saying? Here's what I'm trying to give you back. Shantae, I'm trying to give you your power back. And I want your husband to have his power back. And I want you all to have power together. And I want you to look at your relationship apart from each other and say, let's make this thing really good. How can I help meet your needs? And here's my needs. How can I help you meet my needs? See what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. I suggested counseling, like together and individually, a few weeks ago, and then he said that he'll get there to the counselor and say all the right things. So when he leaves, that he's not changing. He's going to do his own thing because he's stubborn and no one's telling him how to live his life. But I also forgot to mention in the email, because I was just so overwhelmed with my own emotions, that he was seeing a therapist before we got married, but because he was diagnosed with PTSD and anxiety, and he was taking like medicine for it, but then he stopped, and like he says off and on that like he's going to go back and he's going to but it's never no follow through. Then when I finally mentioned counseling again, he was like, I'm not, those people, they're just working a job. When they leave, they do what they want. When I leave, I'm going to do what I want. But you can waste your money if you want to.
Okay.
So
here's the thing. You can't control him. He's a grown man. The only person you can control, and this is hard, is you. And right now, you need somebody in your corner on a regular basis. I don't think good therapy is a waste of money. In fact, I think it is a lifeline for many, many of us, millions and millions of us. And I do hear that a lot, and I get that someone's just doing a job, they're just pushing paper and just pushing a broom.
Yeah.
I don't know therapists like that. The therapists I know deeply care about people, and they want them to have peace in their life and laughter and joy in their life and good sex lives with their spouse. They want these things for them. And so this idea that they're just like getting a job and clocking out, it's not true. I'm sure there are therapists out there. I just don't know them. Most therapists, even the ones I disagree with how they're doing it, they really want what's best for their clients. So it's not about, I'm going to tell you what to do. It's, hey, if you're coming to me and saying, it's like going to the gym, right? The trainer's like, what are your goals? Well, I want to get huge. All right, well, here's the workout plan for getting huge. I ain't doing that. Okay. Like, it doesn't affect my workout. If that's your choice you make, cool. You know what I mean? So it's less about, I'm telling you what to do as a counselor, and it's more, hey, you just explain this out. Here's the path towards changing your family tree. Here's the path towards sleep. And my heart breaks for him because it sounds like he had a rough go of it as a kid. Is that true?
Yeah, he did. He opened up to some things prior to us getting married and during marriage. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. And so here's the deal. I'm going to send you a copy. He may not read it. You can read it and you can leave it laying around. I'm going to send you a copy of my new book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future. Okay. The whole premise of that book is we have to look in the mirror and say, this stuff happened to us. It happened.
Okay.
Full stop. I got abused. Someone treated me wrong because of the color of my skin. Somebody hurt me. Somebody beat me up. So these things happened to me. And there's a period at the end of those sentences. Some of them, I'm still in an abusive relationship. I'm still being treated differently because I'm a woman in a workplace, right? Whatever the thing is. I have to look in the mirror and own those stories. And then I have to ask myself that one terrifying, scary, brave question. What am I going to do now? Am I going to continue this cycle? Or am I going to take 1 or 2 years of my life and it's going to be hard and brutal and challenging and I'm going to change everything? Right?
Yeah.
And he has to do that work. You can't do it for him. I'll tell you this. He's lucky to have you. Okay? Why'd you marry him? Why'd you marry him?
I always tell him that he's brilliant. Like, he's caring. He's, like, his heart, like, once he gets an idea and you just see him go, like, he gives it his all. He's protective and he's caring, like, over, like, who he loves. Overall, he does have a good heart. It's just, I just haven't been saying it lately, but, and he's funny, he's nice, he's kind, he has goals and dreams for himself and not selfishly, like, oh, I just want this. Like, he cares about the children. He wants more and he's ambitious. And just him, like, you'll never meet like a him, like, wherever you are, like, you'll never meet him in him. Like, he's one of a kind.
Sounds like you love that guy.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're also exhausted.
Yeah.
Do you hate the fact that the guy you love is hurting so bad?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Have you told him that?
It's kind of hard.
I know.
I don't know how to gauge him sometimes.
Okay. Where I've seen effective in the past is people sometimes write letters. When somebody sits down and says, hey, what you told me last night, boom. If you're a trauma survivor, your walls go up immediately right then. I'm not hearing a word you're saying. I'm just trying to survive this conversation. And if it means at the end I have to just brush you off, if I have to pull out my phone and act like I'm ignoring you, if I have to be overly emotional and yell something, I will survive this conversation. What a letter does sometimes is it allows that wall to come up and then it goes back down because there's not the person in that room and I can read it again and then I can read it again and then I can read it again. And the second time I read that letter, the second and a half time, the third time, now I'm starting to hear it. Not always. Sometimes people read it once, they throw it away in the trash, and they say, don't ever write that. That's fine. That happens. But sometimes they read it again and again, and they start to go, oh my gosh, that woman loves me. So here's my rule of thumb. If you are not safe, if you're worried about your psychological or physical safety, you got to get out. You promise me?
Of course.
Okay. Deeper than that, you are worthy of your needs. And the greatest gift you can give him is telling him, here's what my needs are. And it's going to come with a risk because he might look at you and say, I'm not meeting those needs, I'm out. And if he does, that will be because he chose to go, not because your needs were wrong. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the only path forward for both of you. And the second thing you got to ask him is, and what are your needs? How can I help meet your needs? And how do we do these things together? Okay. And that means like, okay, then I got another 8-hour shift after I get home where I got to re-roof the house and mow the yard. Like, that's not what that means. But that means we're going to have this conversation together. I need you to pick up your clothes. That's not too much of an ask. I need you to help with the dishes. That's not too much of an ask. I need you to give me an hour and a half at night just to let me have some breathing room. Cool. I'm in for that. I need to just be able to go to the gym. Cool. I need to be able to, cool. Well, we can make those things happen. Whew. I'd love to meet this guy. He sounds like he's great. Sounds like he's hurting a lot and he's trying to figure things out. I don't know if he's great. I haven't met him, but he sounds like he's hurting. And he sounds like he loves you. He's trying to figure it out. Clarity. And you need to make the call and go see a counselor. Okay. That's the only person you can put into counseling is yourself. please make that call because you're worth it.